3 years after I quit my engineering job, I was making 4 times the money living in New York City.
Hey, what's up? Today I got my friend Kevin Samuels. I met him at Menfluential, and him and we got a similar story. We both majored in engineering, and we both didn't like it. And so in this video, we're going to talk about why he quit chemical engineering, even though he had a high paying salary at a huge company. Let's get this started. Hey, what's up? Today I got Kevin. He's a former chemical engineer. He's now full-time image consultant. He has a YouTube channel. I'll include a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. But first, we're going to talk about why would you quit? Kevin, why would you quit chemical engineering to do image consulting?
Oh my
How
God.
stupid are you? Why
Yeah.
would you quit such a good job, high-paying, good job to do image consulting? Wow.
You know,
Kevin.
honestly, I quit engineering to start waiting tables, to tell you the truth. Bullshit you not. My background is chemical engineering, and I had internships all the way up through the end of school. I realized that after about a year and some change in the business, I hated it. I did not want to. There was no engineering work. There was no design work. It was just, I ended up in oil and gas, corrosion engineering, which basically meant I had to go down to the well files, and look at 100-year-old oil wells. And I was just babysitting. And I was like, you know what? I'll be out on all these different sites in southern Texas, eastern Louisiana, and because you got to go where the oil is. And in 20 years, what would it look like? I may have worked myself up to middle management to have a corner office with no window. I was miserable. I made a crap ton of money, but I was miserable. So I decided that I'll be honest, the only reason I went to engineering school is because my freshman year in college, Black Monday happened. The stock market crashed, and all the people who were graduating with business degrees, such and so forth, they could not find jobs. So they came back to university. So I said, well, I looked around and surveyed the market, and the people who were getting jobs, stable jobs, are engineers. So because I could do it, I applied to the College of Engineering, got scholarships. They gave me the money. I went to school, but I hated the work. So after I left school, graduated, I was like, I'm done. After a year, I can't do it anymore. I honestly started waiting tables for a restaurant called Papado down in Houston, the Pappas Corporation. And 6 months from that, I fell backwards into a career in sales, selling long distance, strangely enough. And the rest is history. And here's the funny thing: 3 years after I quit my engineering job, I was making 4 times the money living in New York City, while all my buddies who were still working engineering were figuring out the same thing. They all hated it too. Out of the 9 of us that graduated together, only one is still in engineering.
Guys who are doing something in life, you need to get one thing settled in your mind. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That is how you can continue to challenge yourself. If you are content right now, if you don't have a challenge on the horizon, what is your challenge? I am training for my first triathlon.
So there's going to be haters that said, you didn't try hard enough. You should have tried different chemical engineering jobs. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, well, one thing I mentioned is I did internships all through. Matter of fact, so I worked at Mobile Chemical. I was in the organic polypropylene plant, so the trash bags and stuff. I worked in quality and productivity. I also worked in quality control for 2 summers, and I was on an extended project to where I actually worked through the fall. Then I went to work for Mobile Oil as a corrosion engineer in the corrosion engineering. So I went down to Houston. Then I turned around and went to work for Exxon um, as reservoir engineering. I decided to work for the Houston East Asset Team for Mobile because they offered me the best package available. I was making a crap ton more money. I got to pick everything I wanted. But the net of it is each and every day I hated my job. It
All
was
of them,
nothing.
right?
All of them. I
Yeah,
mean
me too.
the internships made money, and I liked the money, and I liked some of the people, but I didn't want to sit there and watch polymer pellets get crushed into trash bags and have to just test these things. I mean, here's another thing. I took jobs while I was in school through Kelly Technical. So I worked for Nabisco in the quality and productivity lab. I'm sitting there testing Ritz crackers to make sure that they're the right color and the right consistency. I worked for a company called CRI, Catalyst Recovery International, in a research lab, where we had to basically take the catalyst is used to take sulfur out of crude oil. I did a shit ton of work in engineering. I am a technical minded person. I think the conversation we just had proved that I'm a pretty intelligent guy. The work was just bloody horrible and unfulfilling. I wasn't designing anything. I wasn't engineering anything. If we needed something on the well, I had a choice to order this pipe or that pipe, use this valve or that valve. That was it. And that was going to be my life for the next 10 plus 7 years. You could expect to maybe get promoted to senior engineer, and in 8 more years, maybe to management. I just couldn't see it. Here's the thing: engineering was safe. It was safe, and it was the thing that everybody told me I should do because I scored high in science and math. I was told I should do that. And it made sense. It paid a lot of money, but the job satisfaction was, whew. Confidence is by far the singularly most attractive thing that any guy can do to any woman. It's an internal strength. It says you know who you are and you're okay with it. Sexy, masculine, alluring, all the stuff rolled in. If you are confident, all that other stuff just adds to it. And everything that I did in my job, in my career, if I didn't like doing it for 6 months, it wasn't going to get better in 6 years.
It's not actually, it's going to get worse because you're going to get stuck at that role and you're not going to expand outward. People ask me, why'd you quit so early? How come you didn't stay any longer? And we connected at Menfluential because you worked at Exxon as a reservoir engineer and I interned as a reservoir engineer. We saw the writing on the wall. Seeing as people are like, well, if you work there longer, you would gain more responsibilities. You see when you're working there, you see where you're going to be in 5 years. That's your manager. I saw where my manager was. I said, I don't want to fucking be there. He looks like he hates his life. He's overweight. He just looks like he's waiting to retire. He's waiting on that pension. Now, do you want to live your life being your manager who has been waiting for his pension for the last 20 years? He's like, I only got 10 more years. I only got 10 more years and I'm out of here. Do you want to live your life that way?
No. And I saw when I was at Mobile Oil as a corrosion engineer, there was a guy who had been there since the 70s. I saw his office. He was a Texas A&M graduate. And I saw all these old Texas A&M football clips, yellowing paper. This guy was in his 50s, angry, overweight. His office looked like a throwback to the 50s. And I saw that and I was like, that is the future. He was a manager that I was like, I don't want to be this guy. Everybody else was like this. And here's the thing. If I felt that way in my 20s with no wife, no children, no real responsibility, what happens when you start getting a home, car, credit? You gotta be there. You're stuck. Look, guys, gone are the days of skincare and things like that being sissy or girly or foo-foo. You're a modern, sexy savage. You work your butt off. You're grinding, trying to become the best version of yourself. Take care of that beautiful face. Take care of that beautiful you. You only got one go round in life. You might as well get the most out of it. Like I said, there were 9 of us who were engineers after college. Only one is still there. A couple of the other guys decided to go to the consortium program and go get MBAs and go work in, finance, such and so forth. Only one person is still working, and he's working at BP. I was the first one to get out, though. A lot of them didn't do it till, 10 years later, and they all wish they had done it.
They all wish they had done it earlier, because there's no point. As soon as you don't like it, there's no point in staying at all. Like you knowing when to quit is one of the smartest things you could do. Yep. Honestly, if you don't quit early enough, his thing is, do you want to make a career change when you're 30, or do you want to make a career change when you're 23? Obviously, when you're 23, right when you realize it's not for you. When you're 30 and you don't know, when you're going from zero to something, or you're going from making $100,000 to zero, and you have no skills in the new thing, and you got to convince someone to hire you, on something that you just started, it's going to be a lot harder. But if you still look young, it's still easy to make the switch.
I'm a salesperson. I'm really good at sales. I fell backwards into telecommunications. Telecommunications allowed me to be technical because it was dark fiber, switches, this, that. I progressed quickly from telemarketing to outside sales, from account executive to senior account executive. I went and worked. I stopped working for big companies. I started working for local independents. So you could get pre-IPO stock options, highly competitive. But everything I made was based on me, a small salary, huge commission. I made a crap ton of money, and 3 years later, I'm making 4 times the money living in New York. The buddy that's still working in engineering came to visit me in New York. He's my best friend. He used to beat the shit out of me. He's like, man, you're stupid for living in engineering, man. This is stable money. I'm like, no. I was in the shower, taking a shower, and all of a sudden I heard, holy shit, fuck. And I didn't know what happened. I jumped out of the shower. I thought maybe it fell. This fucker was looking at my paycheck. He's like, they pay you this much money to sell? He's like, you made as much in 1 week as in one paycheck as I made in 3 months. I'm like, but you took the stable, safe path. I took a path and bet on me. I knew I didn't want to do that. And even when you, especially as an entrepreneur, people tell you, you got your degree, you need to go back and just go get a safe job, go be safe. And honestly, that's not safety to me. That's just waiting to die. I mean,
I thought you were gonna say boring. You're like, no, waiting to die.
Well, I mean, there's an old quote. Some men die at age 25, but they aren't buried until age 75. From that, I heard, you know what? You can make choices in your life and die physically. I mean, die emotionally and not be dead physically for 50 years. I don't want to walk through life dead, strapped to something I don't want. And that instead, I would just bet on myself and go try to find something else. Here's the net result. If I decided it was the wrong thing, I could always go back. I like organic chemistry. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. If I decided to walk away from style or sales, whatever, I could go back and do it. But why? I'm happier. It was the best decision I ever made. Today, attention is the new currency. In a society where your attention can go 50 million different ways, giving someone your attention says you're important, you're valuable. So when you're talking to that person, talk to that person, look them in the eye. Don't answer your phone, don't answer your text messages, don't do any of that. That lets them know, man, this person is into me. Opportunity, money, and quality of life, that was a major thing because there were more opportunities out there for a technical minded person who could also understand business. See, a lot of business people aren't technically savvy. They're not right brain. So I could bring the logic and precision that engineering required, but still blend it with the creativity. And that opened a world of opportunities to me. And then overall, it was just daily satisfaction. Getting up, liking what I do every day is much better than saying, I hate what I do, but I like the money.
Well, here's the thing: this is what I hate working for companies in general, is that I want to be directly affected by my performance. If I perform well, I want to get paid $1,000 that day. If I sucked, I don't want to get paid anything. Some people don't want to live that way, but I do, because of my YouTube channel. I set up residual incomes on the weekends. I'll wake up, I'll go to sleep, I'll make $300. On a day that all I do was wake up and go to sleep. I'll tell you right now, in 2017, and I do talk about money openly on my channel because it's a career channel. In 2017, last year, I made over $160,000. Only worked 10 hours or less per week. Would any employer in the world ever pay me that amount of money to work 10 hours or less per week? It doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make sense for the company either to do it. Only you ever get paid that much for that little work time put into it for something that you own. And this is never, ever going to happen as an employee.
One of the first things that drew me to your channel was the engineer truth. I was like, is this guy an engineer who quit? When you said it, I was like, yeah, I get why you did it, bro. I immediately, as soon as I saw your first video, I was like, I fucking get this dude. I get it. Good for you, dude. Good for you. Crow this shit across the world. Break as many engineering hearts as you want to. Tell these guys the truth. This shit sucks for the majority of the people.
No, it's absolutely gonna suck. And it's funny because I don't even get triggered anymore, because I have a couple of videos either being honest or just telling people straight up I'm quitting engineering. I think I have 2 videos about why I quit engineering, and like basically essentially not to do it, or if you are gonna do it, understand that it's gonna be boring. And so these adolescents, they have this image about what engineering is going to be like because of what they've been told through like other YouTube videos, through what I would consider manipulation, right? Like you're being manipulated to think a certain way, right? And what's crazy is like they think this so firmly, because then Bill Gates will be in a video or something like that, like we all need more engineers, and Obama will go up and like we need more STEM, and then they get their chemical engineering job or mechanical engineering job, and then this is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to show up to their first day and they're going to be like, wow, this is boring. My most loyal subscribers are the people who did the same path as us. I have people that said, you know what, Matt, I know you said to not do mechanical engineering. I did it anyways. And you're exactly right on exactly what it's like. I'm taking the course that you recommend on digital marketing because I want to get out of mechanical engineering. And I'm like, you know what? I know why you didn't listen to me, because you thought I was a lunatic on YouTube who didn't know what the fuck he's talking about. But hey, congrats on quitting your job. Congrats on getting on board, because that's the first step.
Can you imagine going back in the day to where at least we did chemical and mechanical? Those are still highly employable jobs. Imagine if you would have done industrial,
nuclear,
civil, petroleum, or petroleum and nuclear. I was in school where people were doing petroleum and nuclear, and yeah, Jesus Christ, they had nothing. They're just still stuck in the same position doing the same thing. They look, I mean, like, and they look like prisoners. Like
they don't just look like prisoners, they are prisoners. Here's what people don't understand. If you pick something like sales, one of the most transferable skills ever. I mean, honestly, you could take in-person sales, do that, apply it to YouTube. It's the exact same principles. There's nothing different. You just got to make it look a little different. Apply it to the platform. Nothing changes. But you only know about petroleum engineering. Let's talk about what we knew. Reservoir engineering. We knew about oil to gas ratio, right? Our oil to water ratio. It's like, man, I know so much about drilling and perforations and cementing. All this shit does not apply anywhere else in the world except if you're going to do
mud,
corrosion, all this stuff only applies to
protections and shit. Oh my God.
It's not only that, and like you said, like I had to work with old files. I did what's called digitizing, which basically means you take these old files and you type them up in Excel. That's what you do as a reservoir engineer intern. And then I made fancy Excel formulas, programs to help the reservoir engineers do calculations to choose where to drill.
Sales is the great equalizer. You don't have to go to a fancy college and get a $100,000 degree to live a really successful life in sales.
I have a question. Growing up, though, did you ever imagine yourself as a salesman?
No, because I was told these jokes. What do you call a salesman and a lawyer at the bottom of the sea? A good start. You know, salespeople were always demonized. You know, no, but you want a lawyer. If your ass is if you need a lawyer in a divorce, you want a good one. And salespeople are necessary. The reason my buddy couldn't understand sales was like, you know what? Salespeople are the first hired and last fired. You can have the best product and service. If you don't have world-class sales, you're not going to move this product. Having the best-in-class product doesn't matter. Have best-in-class service doesn't matter. As an entrepreneur, you know one thing: cash is life. If you listen to Gary Vee or any of these people who talk to entrepreneurs, you got to prioritize sales. And sales was the only thing in the workforce when I was working for somebody else that I could actually control what I did. I had a territory or a product or service, and I had to go get people that said no to say yes. That's what sales is. It wasn't just taking orders. My job starts when Matt says no. Everybody don't want to deal with that amount of rejection. It takes skills. It takes training. It takes practice. It takes people skills, product knowledge. It takes determination and effort. It takes work ethic. It takes all the things that I loved about being an entrepreneur and distilled it into being able to work with somebody. Here's the fucked up part about it. Over my career in sales, I made companies in excess of $45 million. Do you think I kept 10% of that?
No.
I didn't even make, no, I made a good salary, flew first class, I had a business account, but I didn't keep that money. Now, today, I make money multiple different ways. It's mine. I can decide how I run my business. We were at Influential. We saw each other. I made money on that trip. The video that I'm shooting and putting in editing right now is going to make me money. Everything that I love to do right now, I can monetize me. And I think anybody who's technically minded needs to understand how to marry that to sales and marketing and learn how to monetize you. Because really, I believe honestly this, everybody don't need to go to college. I just don't believe everyone needs to go to college. I believe if my daughter were more like you or me, I would rather take the money we're going to spend in college and seed her entrepreneurial dreams. Help get her some understanding, some business fundamentals, such and so forth, but really get her in a position where she could do more with that $100,000 on put in college and starting her own business. Now, if you want to become a doctor, a lawyer, accountant, and engineer, you need some kind of professional certification. Cool. But honestly, those are people who really tend to not be entrepreneurial minded, and they need the structure and they need somebody else to do all the heavy lifting and hard stuff. And in exchange for their risk, you take their security. And if that's what you want to do, cool. But don't get upset when you see somebody like Matt who's telling you, fuck it, you don't need to be an engineer. And I'm going to do my business from here. I'm going to pop up in the Philippines. I'm going to do it over there. And I made $300 when I was asleep. Oh, you're just a fucking YouTuber and you're just over here begging for, it's a scam. No, fucker, this is a $9 billion platform. YouTube isn't free. Google bought this shit for a reason. I worked in advertising and sales and marketing for 15 years before that. Everything I do, I use my engineering knowledge and planning and strategy. And YouTube is a great place to be. I would rather be a big, or even a moderate YouTuber than a large Hollywood star.
All right, Kevin, thanks for being a guest on the show. I really appreciate you dropping all the knowledge bombs. And you know what? We met at Influential. We connected right away. I told you, Dan, you quit chemical engineering. You also worked in reservoir engineering. I need to get you on my show, talk about that. So if someone wants to check you out, where can they find you?
Well, you can check me out. My website is bykevinsamuels.com. I'll put it down in the description, or just check me out on my YouTube channel. It's by Kevin Samuels. My channel is about all things men. It's a men's lifestyle channel. Help you look good, smell great, be the best version of yourself. So it's not just fashion, it's not just style, it's not just fragrance. It's everything. We talk about dating, workout, relationships, everything to help you become a fully functional, rounded guy. You got to get a guy needs to have 4 things. You need to have your body right, your game tight, your image on point, and your purpose on lock. If you got all that going on, they can drop you in the Philippines, Paris, Uganda, Montreal, or Miami. You will be able to make it. And that's what we're trying to get guys to do, to become the best version of themselves. Because when guys are the best version of themselves, everybody wins. So appreciate you so much for having me on the channel. I've been watching it. When you showed up, I was like, oh, that's my dog. I was like, he's here for business. He came for business, and I'm glad to see the channel is growing. Keep doing what you're doing. The haters gonna hate. That means you're doing something right, bro.
So I'm doing all right. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Are you tired of going to your shitty job? Here at Engineer Truth, we've helped millions of people go from a shitty job to a job that is a lot less shitty. There are 2 high-income skills that I would recommend everyone to learn. The first is digital marketing, and the second is high-ticket closing. If you want to learn more, there'll be 2 playlists on the next screen that you can click on, and in addition, they'll be in the cards in the upper right-hand corner. Check them out if you want to stop bitching about how bad your job is and actually do something about it.